It is January the 13th, 2025 at 6:03 p.m. My name is Ray Lambert. This is a meeting of the Floresville Economic Development Corporation. We will establish a quorum. With us we have our Assistant Executive Director, Charlotte Jimenez. We have our Annette Montes is helping us also. Then we have Drew Pope. Welcome, sir. We have back with us again Stephen Moore, Ben Lambert, Randy Brett. Michelle Tackett is out. She had surgery today. She broke her leg, but she's done well. We talked to her dad a little while ago, so that's looking good. And now we're joined by Annette Turner. Everybody, very well. I did that to establish a quorum. Randy, you leave some invitation.
Please bow your heads. Great and gracious Lord, please give us kindness for our hearts, strength for our convictions, wisdom for our decisions, and let us support this community as you support us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Daniel, we're going to our attorney, Daniel Santini. Very well. Item number 4, any public comments? At this time, any person with business related to Floresville Economic Development Corporation may speak to the board. Anyone wishing to speak should inform the board of their name, address. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual speaker. In compliance with Texas Open Meetings Act, the board may not deliberate or take action on items not appearing on the agenda, but may consider placing an item on a future agenda if deliberation is necessary. Very well. Do we have any public comments? Good deal. Going to item number 5, presentation and discussion of an element marketing update regarding the market in Floresville. Christy Scott.
Hello everyone, it's good to be back. I just wanted to update you guys on the upcoming February market. Right now we have 36 vendors that are signed up and 3 food trucks. I created a vendor group for all of the vendors from the market and hope, and hopefully to transition them over to the new market in Floresville, Duluth. We have 257 out of 500 vendors that have made that transition. So we're missing a few, but they will move on over. They're all eager to participate, and then I'll continue to scout new vendors throughout different markets and different avenues. And then I also wanted to update you guys on the Market in Floresville Facebook page. Right now we're running kind of a giveaway, a $50 gift card for people to help us achieve that following and broaden our audience. So if they invite their friends and family and then tag 3 people in the comments, they get entered to win a $50 gift card. And right now we have 1,500 followers on the business page, which I think is quite nice, considering we just started it less than 2 months ago. I did create a downtown business page for networking and collaboration for the downtown businesses. There I will continue to update those businesses on any market updates such as street closures. I'd like to remind them as a courtesy and then also to invite them to collaborate with the market. We did solidify the 2025 market dates and the 2026 market dates. So making progress. And then I was asked to do kind of a cost breakdown as to what we've spent so far, or what the FEDC has spent so far. And so, do you want to pull that up, or do you want me to just speak on it?
If you can just speak on it, I didn't,
Okay.
I don't know, first, yeah, go ahead.
So far, we've got a consulting retainer of $500 with the Milliman Marketing. Consulting fees at that $35 an hour rate, equivalent to $1,467. The website, with the hosting fees, the domain, the creation, the design, all of it, $1,970. And print and collateral, such as signage. Right now, we're sitting at $916 for a grand total of $4,853. So just under $5,000 is what we've spent so far. Any questions?
Of those 36 vendors, how many of them are local businesses?
They're all local.
Really?
I don't know exactly how many are from Floresville per se, if that's what you're asking, but
Right.
they're all there, Wilson County, and then I've got somebody from Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't know how many are from businesses that already exist in Floresville? Or-
No, but I could bring that information to the table.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
For the vendors, is there a license that they need to have, or a permit, or anything of that nature?
There are. We're kind of working through that right now. We met with Jacob of the permitting department. And so right now, food vendors are required to get a $75 permit for the city. And then all other vendors are required to get a $25 peddlers and sellers permit, I believe that's what it's called. Okay.
And they obtain that through Jacob?
Yes, that is done through Jacob and our permitting department.
Perfect. And Krista is also providing that on the registration?
Yes, there will be
As
some.
they're registered, they will have that document and know what their fees are.
So they
Where to
just,
pay it.
they just need to get the license for $25 through Jacob, and that's it.
They have to get their permit through Jacob, and then they have to pay a vendor fee to market.
And what is that?
Depending on what type of vendor they are, it could be $0 or 20 or 45. Just kind of depends on what they sell and how much space they're taking.
And the market is in early February,
It is. February 8th is the very first market.
and you anticipate to get how many vendors? you
I
think?
hope 100.
Okay.
We've got some vendors that are currently waiting to hear back from me on permits. So I'm hopeful we'll get an influx very soon. And then I will say, a lot of vendors, they wait till the week of because they watch the weather. They don't want to come to a market if it's raining. Just, feel comfortable with doing that, depending on what they sell. And they're concerned probably about the traffic. If it's raining, they think that there might be less people that might show up.
And those that have declined to come, have they given you a reason? Is it a money thing? Is-
Oh, no, nothing like that. I don't really have any information on people who have declined. All I see are people signing up.
Okay.
So I do have a couple vendors that are concerned about the permitting prices. However, I don't anticipate that being a real problem.
Right.
If it is, I would elevate that to either Charlotte or Monica.
Perfect.
And that license will be a one-time fee. It should be valid for the rest of the markets after they pay the initial.
So right now, it's for 30 days, is that correct?
That is correct. So that is something that I know they have been working with Jacob on, only because council is in the process of updating all permitting fees. So we do not want to issue anything beyond what we're allowed right now without knowing what the next step will be with the council's decision. So as of now, it is a 30-day thing.
So another topic that I wanted to talk about is vendor fees. So all vendor fees go into a lump sum. In that lump sum, it's just kind of, the FEDC has their expenditures, such as, porta potties, the signage, whatever is listed on that breakdown so far. So outside of that are vendor fees. So I would like to utilize vendor fees on charitable donations each month. And I would love your input on who you think you would like to nominate for that. And it doesn't have to be right now, but it's just a fun thing that I think would be really, really great to have the FEDC and Chamber and city's input on it. That way we're all working together and giving back. Also, out of those vendor fees, I plan on implementing a vendor incentive kind of an initiative. I noticed in Pope it was kind of difficult to get volunteers. Did I say vendor? I meant to say volunteers. If I said vendor, I misspoke. Volunteer initiative. That way we can have a regular basis of volunteers. And that way they're having fun with us. And it's just kind of incentivize something for them to do, and they can win a gift card, something like that. Out of that vendor fee also are storage unit costs, maintenance or replacement of current equipment. Right now the market has tents and canopies, tent weights, sometimes they rip. Sometimes we need to buy sand to replace that kind of thing. Clorox wipes, supplies, things like that. Gloves for cleanup, trash bags. And then also any various activities that will increase foot traffic. So right now I'm working with Arts Baked Goods, and we're trying to put together a basket of just fun different things on getting the first 20 guests at the market, giving something back to them, like a swag bag kind of thing. In addition to that $50 gift card, so that comes from vendor fees. And then sponsoring local activities or events that will increase foot traffic. So in the market of Pope, we would advertise with a local pageant or anything that's going on, and we're looking for sponsors, put Little League, something like that, just get our name out there. And then any additional marketing costs. So if we wanted to boost an event, or if we wanted to boost some social media graphics, that would come out of there. And I am searching for volunteers right now for all future market dates. And then what I'll continue to do is work on the website design, any social media vendor communications, and continuing to, again, search for the vendors, the new businesses in the area. And then this week I'll be distributing flyers and meeting local businesses downtown.
And on the flyers, it explains road closures, what they can expect.
Right.
Local businesses can set up for free, except on concession. I asked Jacob specifically about concession. Natalie can serve, the owner of Arcadia can serve outside on her entry, but not on the market premises. So she has to stay in the area of her business.
Has our road closure already been approved by council?
Yes,
Probably needs to happen, no?
that can be placed on the agenda for next week.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any other questions for Kristen? Go on. Sounds great, we look forward to it.
Yes, I'd love for y'all to come and find, shop, get to know everybody.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you so much. Item number 6, consent agenda. The following items are considered routine by the Floresville Economic Development Corporation and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion on these items unless requested by a board member, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed after the consent agenda. 6A, consideration of possible action and to approve the minutes from FEDC's regular meeting held on December 9th, 2024, and consideration and possible action on financial statement financials for December 2024.
Minutes first, or
You got-
what, can we approve the minutes from
Yeah.
December 9th?
Go ahead.
Uh,
Somebody have make a motion?
I move to approve the minutes from the FEDC's regular meeting that was held on December 9th, 2024.
Motion from Angela.
I'll second.
Got a second from Stephen. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
I am going to hand out last meeting said I would give you all, once I presented to my council, the year-end, so September 30th, 2024. So I'm going to just give you all to have for your records, and it gives you your fund balance, so your reserve.
I'm not sure what's this. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And in your packet, you do have your budget versus actual analysis for the month ending of December 2024. So for revenues, sales tax, we've received $329,186. Miscellaneous, we've received $6,000. In bank interest, we've received $22,801 for a total revenue of $357,987. On expenses, for personnel, we have $20,588. Supplies, $14,354. Contractual, $91,605. And the total expenses are $129,236. Currently, you do have a surplus, so we have brought in more revenue than expenses for through December. So we do have a surplus of $228,751. We did provide also the detailed expense report. So that does give you line item. You would look at the middle column, which is the year-to-date actuals. If there are any questions or you have any additional details, just email me or email Charlotte. We can get you whatever you need.
Thank you.
Any questions for Cindy from anyone? If that's a cassette, we don't have to pass that, do we? I don't think so. Okey dokey. Moving into item 7, discussion and possible action concerning, 7A, consideration and action to approve authorizing EMC Strategy Group to apply for funding opportunities at 1400 4th Street and at 1210 C Street.
Janice? You're muted.
Good evening. I just realized I had it on mute. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me explain a little bit about these two opportunities, which are very different, and hopefully we could make a decision tonight so that we can move forward and start working on either the EDA grant or even the USDA loan. The EDA grant, that is a matching grant, and right now it is, the ceiling is $30 million and the award floor is $100,000. Now, like I said before, it is a matching grant, and this is an ongoing grant. They started it in March of 2023, and they updated it in October 2024. It's open at any time, so if we decide not to do it now, we can always do it another time. Now, this is the thing that we definitely need to talk about, is how much it's going to be in order for us to do the renovations of the old Phelps building. So of this, the matching, let's just say that we do $4 million, we still have to match that $4 million, so it'll be $2 million from them, $2 million from us. That's one that we can do, which is that's the grant. And then we have the other grant, which is not a grant, it's actually a USDA loan. The USDA loan, it is given to communities like Floresville, and this is a community facility direct loan and grant. So it's a 40-year note. and the minimum interest is 2.5%. And the first year, the FEDC does not have to pay anything until a year after receiving the money. So you have a year to not have to pay anything for that loan. Again, it is a 40-year loan, and, yes, it takes about 40 years to pay off this loan. And again, depending on the amount, that will make the deciding point. Now, another thing, with the USDA loan, the FEDC will be completely in control of the incubator or whatever is going to be inside of the Phelps building. And all the renovations, everything that's going to be FEDC controlled. Now, with the grant with EDA, since it is a matching grant, the suggestion was to do a P3. But with a P3, the partner will have control until they get completely paid off by the money that's being generated from the restaurants or whatever we decide to, or you all decide to put into that facility. So that's one thing that I would like for you all to make a decision on which one would be best for the FEDC and for Floresville in general. So that's a discussion that I wanted to have with all of you and decide on which one you want me to pursue.
Are we allowed to pursue both at the same time?
No.
We have to choose one or the other, okay.
Right.
But there are some other issues as far as the public-private partnership, correct? Can you explain those at least?
Did you hear,
What was it?
did you hear Ryan's question? Were there other issues or concerns regarding the public-private partnership that we should be concerned with?
Yes, I think the biggest concern that I have, honestly, is if we do the P3, in other words, we would have the $2 million from the EDA, and then the P3 would put their $2 million in it. But, like I said, it's going to take a much longer time. It's going to take about 2 years for us to even get anything done, to even start construction, because of lawyers, paperwork, and then also the fact that they would like to get their money back. That's what happens in the P3. The private owner will have ownership of Phelps Building until they get their money's worth back, actually, and then plus interest. Because depending on what the attorneys and the FEDC decide on what that would be.
That's not an option.
That's not an
That's
option?
not an option.
No.
No? Okay.
Well, it's not an option when they like it anyway.
And with the loan, like I said, it is a 40-year loan. And I'm not sure how long the FEDC decides to keep the Phelps building as their own, or they would have to sell it eventually to a private company.
What does the timeline look like on the EDA grant? Is it, I mean, your grant applications, you said it's open year-round, so what is the turnaround on an approval or denial?
So, it's any grant, but the EDA grant, for example, it takes about 6 months at the max to get it completed. And then it takes another 3 to 6 months to actually get a response, whether we received it or not.
I don't think we're ready to jump into either one of these right this second.
For the matching grant? The grant. It depends on what.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to really pull some things together with some different funding issues and ideas and options to get everybody to kind of pull together, because I think everybody's everybody's kind of thinking in different directions. We speak right now and really probably need a little bit more information about everything to give everybody
Yes, I agree.
a fair shot.
Especially that we don't know what the exact amount is. I don't know the exact amount of how much it's gonna cost. With the consulting fee from the company, with whoever we decide, or you all decide, on your choices, and the construction, the materials, everything, we don't know the number. And until we get that number, then you all can make that decision on whether to do the loan or to do the EDA and have a P3. That way, it won't have an effect on FEDC to make that choice of having to do the matching amount for the EDA grant.
I don't think a P3 is an option.
Not the setup that she described, no, it wouldn't be.
Did you hear that?
And this,
Yeah, she did hear you.
Yeah, the way you described the structure of that P3 would not be an option for this corporation.
right, and that's the thing, so it's up to you whether you want to do the matching for the grant, the EDA grant.
But both of those are really hard to choose when you don't know what it's gonna cost.
That's exactly
I
right.
mean, you
We
kind of
don't
have
know.
a price of where you
So-
can move forward and secure money.
Dan, would you recommend that we get a schematic and estimate from an architect? Or put out an LPA or a RFQ?
Yeah, so,
Or-
right, and there's a lot of USDA programs, particularly with economic development. And, I mean, based on, I mean, she just didn't give you any information whatsoever, so I would just recommend that you really need to get the specifics of the particular loan that you're going to, like, for example, I have another rural USDA community that did a rural USDA grant, and they didn't realize that they couldn't, it's an EDC as well, and they didn't, this was before we represented them, they didn't realize that they could not rent space to a for-profit company within that building. And it was because when they made their application, it was a junior college they were trying to keep, and then when the junior college decided to pick up and leave, and they had this building, then they were getting a manufacturing company in there, and they thought they were doing a great job, and then the USD says, oh, by the way, hey, you can't do that. So it's like, it's very important that we know all the specifics of the loans that, or the grants that you're applying for, and, you know, it just, you're gonna wanna take time to go through that and understand what it is that's gonna be required of you going forward. When you're talking about a 30 or 40-year note, that one that I'm referencing was a 40-year note, and they still have 26 years on it. And we're trying to get them out of that loan now through debt issuance, so they can do what they want with that building, and, you know, for economic development purposes. So, you know, today we're talking about community facilities and things like that, but I think you need to just think a little bit broader as to making sure that whatever loan product or grant product that you pursue is going to be flexible enough to fit evolving needs of the corporation, especially when you talk about, you know, somebody else might need to sell it to someone else. But you're going to have to make sure that those restrictions that are placed upon you work with what you think that future intent might be. And I didn't hear enough information just tonight to feel comfortable saying, oh yeah, y'all should vote on this. I mean, I really feel like you need to have a better grasp on not just the cost, but the end use, and that they need to advise you as to what all the options are, not just, well, here's an option, or here's a 50% match, which is an unusual match. That's a large match in any world. So.
No, you're absolutely correct. It is a very large match. But like I said, since we don't have the dollar amount, we won't know which direction to go with. There are other grants from the USDA that can help with economic development. And that would be the RBGD loan, grant. And with that one, the match, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's not in the millions. So at that point, it would have to be in phases. And phase 1, phase 2, depending on what you want there first before we move forward. Now, the USDA, with that grant, they really like to focus on incubators. So does the EDA, but that's something that we would have to discuss and do some more research on exactly where you want to, or what direction you want to go to when it comes to the phases of this building.
I mean, we don't even know which direction we're gonna take the building yet, and we haven't even figured that out,
Yeah.
much less.
I think we need to get some kind of idea of some kind of cost, so we know which programs to pursue, because we're kind of getting out of balance here. We're looking for some money that we don't even know what we need it for, how much we need.
Would it be possible to put together, here's the angle that I'm looking at, is we have had this building and the excitement around this building for a few years now, and all it seems is like we're just kind of dragging along because of changes, and I know there's a lot going on. But can we put together a task force? Can we do something so that way we can make a decision and have a decision in play? So then the decisions of how much do we need to get, what is exactly going to be in there, can actually, those decisions can be made moving forward.
Right.
But we need to, I just feel like this is,
No, I think it's
beating a dead horse
dragging
over and
on.
over again with the building.
Any comments what Angela has to say? I think, I think we do need somebody to specialize in this to really take charge of it and it's not moving forward to where we are.
Yeah, we have good traction, we have new businesses coming into town, the revitalization is starting to happen, it'll be here soon. We don't want to lose that momentum in keeping the community excited about what's happening in our city center.
And I agree with you 100%, but you also have too, I think in the studies and some of the numbers that are there, if you put them all together, are from two different groups, two different boards, and two different ideas.
Right.
So I think I have to look at the whole picture and kind of sort through what is going to be best for Floresville at the end of the day and what we can afford.
Absolutely.
Would you like to work with something like that, or what do y'all think about that idea?
I do want to mention that in discussing the incubator space and knowing that the food pantry might need a location, and because the warehouse building it's a good sized building, but we could consider the food pantry coming in there and a portion of it to keep the food pantry downtown. If they have to move, or if the county has to move them, it may not be in the local downtown area, like where they currently are.
I think everybody's pretty committed to trying to keep the food pantry, functioning and working well. I think we don't have to just focus just on that one building, but I do think we'll find something to work together. Maybe it's not that one, maybe there's one that's better suited, or one that's less expensive, or one whatever, but I do think we should attack that project in a big way, make something happen. But I think that's a consideration, but you're not painted in a corner.
Right, just an idea.
Yeah, exactly. No, I do think that's something we should certainly explore. Everybody's quiet.
So no action on this item? As far as the authorizing EMC strategy, no,
No, we're going to sit on that.
we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just need to get more information. Nothing against EMC, just we need to get more information.
I agree. I agree. So I also wanted to discuss with you all, if you allow me, it's going to be about the Floresville to DC winter trip and also Austin Days.
It's not on the
Would that
agenda.
be okay?
It's not on the agenda.
Janice, since it's not on the agenda, we can't bring it up for discussion at this time.
No worries.
Okay, you'll close that up, Charlotte.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you,
evening.
Janice.
You
Bye.
too, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to 7B.
That,
What?
I just have one. they can, if we are going to go out for any type of loan, I know she's calling it a grant, but it's going to be a loan, I would like our financial advisor, so there's like different avenues of, rather than a 40-year note, you know,
Yeah, there's
what
gotta be
is the
better
best for this, you know, not for us to go. So I mean, and we would need a dollar amount, but I know by him like not even being aware that they were going to even try to go out, you know, go out for a grant or for a loan, that's how we get in trouble. Financially.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So your advice would be to loop it in on what we're looking to. Okay. Ms. Victor, you know,
That way we can research it. You can have the most eyes on the projects.
In different
Okay.
types, you know, avenues.
we're not taking it.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, y'all just aren't ready to take any action on it, so yeah, don't know when it'll come back.
So there's no action.
You can move to postpone if you want.
Or move to no action? Do we have to move?
You don't,
to
no, you don't. You can just go on to the next item if you aren't sure if
So no
it's.
action.
Everybody clear? Good. Very well, moving over to item 7B, consideration and action to authorize Shoreline Electric to repair the electrical outlets on the courthouse grounds for an amount of $6,125.15.
What was that original bid amount? Double?
So what, I had gotten,
One was 10 and one was 11, 12, I think.
yes, I included both in your packets. One was 12,000 from Lux and the other company was 13,000.
Yeah, the one from Austin,
Correct.
Austin Armature Works, out of Butte. They want 13,900.
They're all doing the same work, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I think Drew took a large look at this, and he felt like it was by far the better option.
For sure, yeah, I'm not gonna vote on this, I'll
I
abstain from
understand.
voting just for conflict of interest, but yeah, I do. think
Well, you're familiar with electrical.
That's option.
So I'll move to authorize Schrolla Electric to repair the electrical outlets on the courthouse grounds in the amount of $6,125.15.
Have a motion by Angela,
Second.
second by Randy. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And one no vote. One abstain. 7C, consideration and action to authorize the board president to execute the easement at 1400 4th Street to Floresville Electric Light and Power System for the purpose of installing a permanent power pole for future electric use on the grounds.
So this is a project that was talked about back in November after the Peanut Festival. The Peanut Festival Association installed a temporary power pole, and they, in Phelps, put a, I don't know what it's called, the boxes with the 220s meter loop on our property. But in order for it to become permanent, they have to move a pole, or they have to bring a pole and put it in an area that they can access the, what is that, the transformer that's closest to it. And I spoke to Mr. Hayden.
Patrick
Patrick Koschek, yeah.
Koschek. Patrick Koschek came out and explained it to me, and they looked at the best source or area to do or to put the power pole. Floresville Electric Light and Power will pay for the actual pole and the labor, but we need to provide an easement access for them. So there's a document that was in your packet from Phelps, which provides us giving 15-foot access on our property to Phelps. And the way Patrick explained it to me, the VFW parking lot area, or the VFW, will have to also provide access via easement, being deeded over to Floresville Electric Light and Power. So if we want to pursue this avenue, this is the next step.
And that's, giving them the easement is in exchange for it not costing us any money.
No, they won't build anything permit without an easement. They have to,
Yeah.
there's too much legal.
That way they can get to it.
Yeah, if that ever gets sold to somebody else and they say, oh, I don't want you to come in here, they have to have the right, the legal right to be able to access their equipment and replace that pole if they need it. They won't build any permanent power line anymore without
But it is only contingent on the VFW giving them the same easement.
I mean, there's ways around it, but yeah, that's the most ideal. You get it, you put that pole on the property line, you get an easement from each side. You know, if they refuse, there's no trees there, you can probably sweet talk them into saying, look, we'll give you 30 feet instead of just the 15 on our side, so that they have plenty of room to do it.
They're not gonna be able to deal with it.
I don't think so either. I can imagine. You're not giving the property away. You're not sacrificing the property at all. You're just giving them the right to be there.
Yeah, you're allowing that.
Trim the trees. You're not going to plant and put any permanent structures in that easement.
But you can't anyway. So,
So, right, and I did discuss it with Derek Gottlieb, who's a commander for the
American Legion.
American Legion.
Yes, so that's, Mr. Chairman, may address. So yes, we've been working with the temporary, we approved the temporary pole, Charlotte Colby, back in November, saying that we'd have to do it. The easement is basically part of the parking lot. And it's just, the pole's gonna go on the FEDC corner, but they need the easement there. We see no issue with that and have no problem with doing the paperwork for the deeds. So it's a non-issue to us because it doesn't take away our ability to park the car right there. It's just an easement for the adults to have. So we have no issue with it as far as the legion goes. So, if that helps.
that does, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Derek.
I thought you were going to tell them that the VFW is in Poth and the American Legion is in Poth.
No, I'll let you do that, Randy. Thank you.
Clarification, got it.
Very well. So we need some action on this item?
I make a motion that we approve the easement.
We have a motion by Stephen,
Second.
second by Drew. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. 7D, consideration action to approve Assistant Executive Director credit card limit on the Wells Fargo credit card be increased from $3,000 to $5,000.
This is currently, the card that I have is at a limit of 3,000, and if I have to schedule trips, conferences, I kind of get maxed out real fast. So I have to communicate with the finance director to make a payment, or it will just be much easier to have that increase, but it's up to the board.
But before they had a 3 and a 2, wasn't it?
I'm good. Can I say
Go ahead.
something? It's 3 and 5.
Okay.
So there is another credit card, but it's frozen.
Okay.
And so what they would do though is take 2,000 from that and add it to her, like.
It's all the same.
So then it would be the same. If you're not increasing your credit capacity,
But you only have one card moving around, so it
Right now.
makes sense that she needs to have this funds to work with. For sure, if you're good with it. Somebody put that form of a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the increase in credit limit.
Motion by Stephen,
Second.
second by Randy. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. 70, consideration and action to purchase 2 portable restrooms at the cost of not to exceed $2,200 for functions hosted by FEDC and the city of Floresville. The city currently owns 2 non-handicap units.
So if I may add, the number I quoted in there is low. I was going based off the 2024 receipt that the city had received for 2 of the standard size portables. The current price for a standard, and it's in, I added it to your packet, it's $999 plus 59 for a total of $1,058 for a standard. And the handicap portable is $2,506 plus 189 for bill of lading setup, for a total of $2,695. That brings a total to $3,753. And Annette and I discussed it, and we can look for, get more bids. I just think it would be beneficial for the city, or for us to all have access to a handicap. The city has 2 portables that we could use for markets or any type of events that we would host.
But they have the pump to clean them too?
Correct. They have a pump truck, and they service them with the factor. Those supplies that go in it, or, okay. So it's just an idea. I know every time that we would rent portables, when I did in the past, minimum of $500 each time.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna be having the stuff
And,
every month.
yes, so the city would have access to them, and they service them. We could also buy 2, it's just for the markets.
Means that y'all don't have a handicap though. We probably should at least get one handicap or something.
We do not, we just have 2 standard ones right now. That's all that was budgeted for whenever we just did decide to go this route, because as Charlotte mentioned, we were continuously renting for different things, and it was just turning into an expense that we thought was unnecessary. This was a better option for us.
Do you think one handicap's enough, or do you think you need 2 handicaps?
I think 1 would be suitable.
Okay. So we did like 1 and 1?
And as Charlotte said, we do, our public works guys are the ones that clean them out for us, and they maintain them for us. So we use them for the holiday festival that we had recently, and we used them out at the baseball field, so.
Yes, it's a good thing. It's a good investment for everybody.
Well, I'll move to go out for additional bids to obtain 1 handicap and 1 a standard porta potty for FEDC to have for events.
Motion by Angela.
Second.
Second by David. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 8, and if somebody sees something I don't see, I don't know any reason we need to go into executive session. So item number 9 would be no action on that. So now we move along to item 10, the assistant director's update.
So you do not want to go into executive session? So,
I don't think so.
okay. I provided an update in your packets, and because of the holiday, there wasn't a lot of ground to cover. I had several meetings with Collaborate, who is an architectural firm, who can assist in the development of our FEDC property, the plaza that's located here downtown. And I also met with Vanilla Moon regarding the logistics of the market, and met with Jacob as well regarding permitting and making sure that we handle all parameters required to conduct a market that's going to benefit the community. So with that, I do not have anything else except that I will be on vacation at the end of January for a week, and that will be at the office on Tuesday, Thursday. And ICSC, Red River Conference, which is a retail conference. I registered Mr. Lambert and Ben Lambert to attend on our behalf. And that about covers it.
And there's space available if somebody else wants to go. More than welcome. Any questions for Charlotte, anybody?
No, she already hit her limit.
Yeah.
That's it. Have a motion to adjourn? Thank you.
So moved.
So moved by Randy. We are adjourned. How long was it? 53 minutes, that's not too bad. Because Monica just kept looking at you.
It's an R&R.
Going to executive session.
Yes. You get a grant. You get a grant.
Usually our ESG, they're back.
How's it going? Good.
My school board meetings when I was
Yeah, I was like, I can jump in here and say, yeah. Yeah, I know. I've been the manager for the last 3 years over there, so yeah.
And I had to be at work by 7:30.